I'd like to tell you now about a second Himalaya story. It's not about someone I've ever met, but someone who's one of my heroes. It is Sir Edmund Hillary, the late Sir Edmund Hillary. He, with the Sherpa Tenzing Norgay, were the first to climb Mt Everest in 1953. And for that alone, he is considered a hero. But it is not for that I consider him one of my heroes and one of my inspirations. There are three other reasons. The first is that when he came down off the mountain, he noticed that the Sherpa people, Nepal, were very poor and needed help. So he spent the rest of his life raising money and actually going to their area and building schools and hospitals and bridges and roads, and dedicated his life to helping these poor people. He turned his success into helping other people. That's an inspiration. Secondly, in the process, he involved his family. He took his wife and all of his children up there, and actually this had three massive advantages. One is they weren't sitting at home playing Nintendo or going to time zone. They were actually in the outdoors, being inspired by nature. He also taught them values by helping poor people instead of, I guess, being egocentric. And thirdly, he created wonderful family bonding time when they were there. And interestingly, I interviewed his son Peter, who's also climbed Mount Everest a couple of times, about this. And he's also a wonderful guy who loves nature, obviously. He asked his father, after he and I had spoken, whether his dad had done this by intention. His dad said, "Oh no, I don't think I was a great dad. Same with his care for the poor. Oh, I'm not a do-gooder. It's obvious. They need some help, and so you respond." But there's now a third reason why this is inspiring, and that is because in the process of helping the poor and going there with his family, he lost his wife and one of his daughters in a plane crash. The plane took off from Kathmandu, there was a problem, it crashed in a ball of flame, and they died instantly. This was a terrible tragedy, obviously, for him. It cut him deeply, and it took him years before he could even talk about it. But it didn't stop him working. He continued to work. You can imagine him saying, "Well, you know what, I've given up enough time and energy and now my family for this. I've done enough." But he didn't. And his family continue on with the legacy. So, I don't know, there's something about these two Himalayan stories that's very important to me. My visit to Nepal when I was a student changed my life. It changed my attitude towards care for the poor. It's affected my own medical career in terms of what I do, affected it massively in terms of what I do. And honestly, but for those mentors taking the initiative, I don't think I would be the same person. I mean, I'm pretty selfish anyway, I think, and quite driven, but I think I'd be maybe more selfish and driven in different ways. So I'm grateful for those mentors. I am grateful for that moment in the Himalayas when these two doctors said, "You don't do things for gratitude, you do it because it's the right thing to do." And I'm grateful for the inspiration of people like Ed Hillary, who turn their success into care for somebody else, into compassion, who spend time with their family and teach them values in a family bonding way. I'm grateful to all of them.